Hi, Lion Cubs. It's Miss Homan from Room 9. I am bringing you your Second Wonders lesson this week. If you remember, this week we are talking about how do people get along. And this is the chart we made just the other day. So let's review. How do people get along? And we watched a video and it told us that people listen to each other, be respectful, talk to each other, play together, working together, and be kind. Those are all really great ideas to help people get along. And then we read a story about Kelly and Selena and their soccer team and how Kelly figured out a way to get along and work together with Selena. Well, today we're going to read another story. This one is a little bit different. It's still a fiction story, so we know that it is a made-up story. But before we do that, we're going to review our vocabulary words. So let's look at those. All right, here we go. Amused. Let's see. Can we remember what amused means? Oh yes, it makes you smile or laugh if something is amusing or if it amused you. Runners must cooperate to win a relay race. And this whole week is actually about cooperation, and it's working together. I would describe my cat as small and fluffy. And we talked about how describing words tell us how things are, what they're like. The funny clown entertained me. This one is very similar to amused. It pleased you or it interests you. So a book can entertain you or a movie. Ryan used his imagination to pretend he was in space. We use our imagination sometimes when we're reading stories without pictures and we're imagining what we see. Something that you make up in your mind. Mia likes to chat and interact with her friends at lunch. Interact. It means talking or working together. The boy was patient and waited for his friend. Oh, he waited for a long time, and he was calm about it. It was peaceful in the quiet library. Remember, quiet was our key word here, and we talked about how peaceful means quiet and calm. So those are our vocabulary words for this week. So before we get started on the story, you are going to need, again, 2 pieces of paper, one for the part that we're going to do in the video together, and one for the paragraph that you are going to write. And this is going to be kind of a short paragraph that you're going to write, just 3 or 4 sentences that you need to put together. So go ahead and pause the video, go ahead and grab your paper, and I'll be here waiting. Excellent. I hope that you grabbed everything that you would need. And we're going to read a story. It's called Once Upon a Baby Brother. Read a story about a sister who finds a way to get along with her baby brother. And I know we have lots of younger siblings in our classes, in our families at home. So this might be something that you've had to figure out. All right, ready? From the day she could talk, Lizzie loved to tell stories. Tall ones. That means like not a real, it's a make-believe. True ones, funny ones, sad ones. Lizzie loved them all. She entertained the people in her mother's office, and the little girl grew up to be president and brought her parents to live with her in the White House. She made up fairy tales to share with her father during their hikes up Mount Tilapia. After slaying dragons in the forest, the princess gave a surprise birthday party for the king. She spun yarns for Big George. The beautiful girl and her handsome dog took a rocket to the moon and discovered a new planet in the solar system. Everything was fine until her little brother Marvin came along. When Lizzie tried to tell a story before breakfast, her mother said, "Not now, dear. Marvin has a dirty diaper." When she tried to tell her father a story after dinner, he said, "Maybe later, Lizzie. It's time for Marvin's bath." Luckily for Lizzie, Big George still loved her stories. He would listen for hours. Stories about dogs were his favorite. The faithful Labrador rescued his master from the storm-tossed seas. Arf, arf! When Lizzie started second grade, she discovered that her teacher, Miss Pennyroyal, loved stories too. All the kids in Miss Pennyroyal's class got to write stories and take turns reading them aloud. The brave young girl rescued her teacher from the alligator pit. Lizzie loved Miss Pennyroyal's second grade. At home, Marvin loved his big sister, Lizzie. He helped her make her bed. He helped her brush her teeth. He even shared his oatmeal. Lizzie couldn't wait to get to school each morning. At school, Miss Pennyroyal taught her students how to create interesting characters. Think about what makes your character different from everybody else, she said, and describe that in your stories. Easy peasy, thought Lizzie. She got out her Princess Merryweather pencil. While the other kids brainstormed, Lizzie started writing. She wrote all through recess. She was still writing while the other kids ate lunch. "Can I go first, please?" Lizzie asked when it was time to share stories out loud. "There's only one creature with footprints like this, Captain." "You don't mean—" "I'm afraid so, sir. The Yeti is on the rampage again." "Nice to see you using those new vocabulary words," said Miss Pennyroyal. "Thank you," said Lizzie. The next day, while Lizzie was at school, Marvin found a tube of gold glitter glue in Lizzie's desk drawer. He made golden glitter swirls all over her favorite stuffed bear, Sebastian. Lizzie was not amused. "Big sisters need to be patient," said Lizzie's mother. "Babies can't help making messes," said Lizzie's father. Lizzie curled up in her bedroom with her imagination notebook and wrote a new story. Once there was a beautiful princess who lived in a castle by the sea. She made her parents very happy. Then the ugly prince was born. He cried all the time and made lots of messes. So the beautiful princess banished the ugly prince to a desert island. "This castle is getting way too crowded," she told her trusty steed. Lizzie was happy to go to school the next day. The kids in Miss Pennyroyal's class were still writing stories about interesting characters. Lizzie had tons of ideas. It was hard to find time to write them all down. "Run for your lives! It's the Marvinosaurus! Marvin's the nastiest pirate that ever sailed the seas. Watch your fingers! There's a marvin fish circling below." "I don't believe I've ever heard of a marvin fish," said Miss Pennyroyal. "It must be very rare." "Oh, it is," said Lizzie. "You hardly ever see one." On Friday, Lizzie's mother announced she was taking Marvin to visit Grandma. "I hope you won't miss your little brother too much," she said. "No, Marvin!" Lizzie was thrilled. After spaghetti for dinner, she and her father played a long game of checkers. The next morning, Lizzie sharpened a whole box of pencils. She dusted the furniture in her Princess Merryweather magic castle. She rearranged the stuffed animals on her bed 12 times, but something was missing. At school, Miss Pennyroyal announced a new project. Now that we know about creating characters, we're going to write our own comic books, she said. Everyone needs to think of a character who will have lots of adventure. Lizzie took out her Princess Merryweather pencil. She doodled. She stared out the window. For the first time, she couldn't think of a single idea. That night, while Lizzie's father worked on a sales report for his meeting, Lizzie tried to work on her comic book. She drew stars on the cover of her imagination notebook. She stared at a liver-shaped spot on the ceiling. She even cleaned out her sock drawer. Once, in a far-off galaxy, she wrote, and then nothing. The next day at school, the kids in Miss Pennyroyal's class turned in their comic book projects. Everyone except Lizzie. Remember, the deadline is the day after tomorrow, said Miss Pennyroyal. I know, Lizzie moaned. Maybe you just need fresh inspiration, said Miss Pennyroyal. Maybe, said Lizzie. She chewed on the end of her Princess Merryweather pencil. It was a dark and stormy night. Sorry, the book stopped. Let's go back. And then nothing. At home, Lizzie looked for inspiration. She listened to music and drew pictures on the blank sheets of paper. She reread her favorite fairy tales. She studied the comics in the Sunday paper. Nothing helped. I'll never think of a character for my comic book, Lizzie moaned. She went downstairs for a glass of juice. Mugworts, said the chrysanthemum. Marvin, when did you get home? Ziff-whizzle, said Marvin. Then he knocked over Lizzie's juice. Oh, Marvin, said Lizzie. Loops, said Marvin. Lizzie thought about Miss Pennyroyal's instructions. Interesting characters, lots of adventures. Lizzie carried her Princess Merryweather pencil upstairs. She wrote until bedtime and while she was brushing her teeth. She was still writing during recess the next day. Is your comic book ready to turn in? Asked Miss Pennyroyal. Not quite. I need to show someone at home first. As long as you turn it in tomorrow, said Miss Pennyroyal. While her mother cooked dinner, Lizzie pulled Marvin into her lap. Listen to this, she said. The Adventures of Marvin and Big George, the Wonder Dog. Run for your lives, yelled the mayor. Aliens have landed. They're taking over the city. Out of the sky swooped the amazing Marvin with Big George, the Wonder Dog. Marvin sprayed the tiny villains with paralyzing purple slime. Soon all was peaceful in the city again. Yay, Marvin! The people cheered. The mayor gave Marvin the key to the city. Long live the amazing Marvin! Everyone shouted. Lizzie gave Marvin a hug. Big George lifted his chin and howled. That's only the beginning. Wait till you see what happens in episode 2. Wow, that was an exciting story. I liked that. So this is the time that you're going to need your paper. Take your paper and fold it in half. And we are actually going to put together our 2 skills that we've been learning over the last couple weeks. One was summarizing, and one was point of view. So we are going to look at the point of view that Lizzie has about her little brother at the beginning and at the end. So we talked about summarizing. in our last lesson, and we talked about using key details. So important details, but maybe not little details like she was getting juice. And using those to tell our story. Now we're going to use that summary tool to talk about Lizzie's point of view. So go ahead and fold, like I said, fold your paper down the middle. I will hopefully get the camera, iPad working. Let's see. Nope. Come on, little camera. Notes. And it's just like in the classroom when our technology does not want to cooperate. Oh, there we go. Okay, so here is my paper. I folded it in the middle. Now I'm going to use my pen and put a line down the middle. And we're going to write beginning. And we're going to write end. Now don't forget, this chart is a tool that you're going to use to write some sentences, a paragraph. And so these do not need to be complete sentences. These are just thoughts. So in the beginning, what was Lizzie's perspective about Marvin? Let's think. Okay. He ruined things. What else? She, excellent idea. Lizzie's parents did not have time for her stories. That's one more thing that she felt at the beginning. Okay. She would rather be at school. She'd rather be at school than at home because he was ruining things. Her parents were ignoring her. Things were getting messed up. So think about her brother went away. She was trying to do something during that time. And then whatever happened during that time changed her point of view about her brother. So what do you think? What was her point of view about her brother at the end of our story? Well, I think I heard someone say she loved him. Okay. What else? He was her character. If something's missing, what does that mean? That the group is not complete. So family needed Marvin. Now, you might have very different ideas, and that would be awesome if you did. So these are just different ideas. This, again, is not the chart that you are sending in as your assignment. You're going to use this chart and use your other piece of paper to write a few sentences, not a list, a few sentences that say, Lizzie felt this about her brother, or Lizzie's point of view at the beginning was this because this, and this. So this should not be a list, like, didn't like him. It should not look like a list. It should look like a paragraph. And just like we talked about in our last lesson, a paragraph is sentences that keep going, you move down. If you stop in the middle with a sentence and you have punctuation, that doesn't mean you start a new sentence. Don't forget, the key things that you need in sentences are uppercase letter at the beginning, a period at the end. We don't start with because, and we do not write and. If we're going to put more than one thing in our sentence, we can use commas or we can create different sentences. So, for example, in the beginning, Lizzie did not really like her brother. That would be my first sentence, and then I would put a period. One example is that he ruined her teddy bear. Also, he spilled her oatmeal. Just like when we wrote about which was our favorite cookie. This is kind of like an opinion piece. What is your opinion? What do you think? And remember, when we wrote about our favorite cookie, we didn't just write and this, and this, and this. We gave examples and we broke them into sentences. So I can't wait to see the sentences and the paragraphs that you're going to write. I know they're going to be amazing, and I know that you guys just have ideas way beyond my ideas. So go ahead, take a break, come back, write your sentences, write your paragraph, take a picture of that, and send that to your teacher. This is just a tool for you to use. Just like the Wonders on your iPad is a tool that you can use to go back and look at the story if you need some evidence. So I can't wait to see what you have to share with me. I will see you soon. Bye, friends.